the rise of populism has been dormant. It's been present for a long period of time, and we've seen that both in the US and in Europe. But what has exacerbated it is the peculiarly slow recovery from the global financial crisis after 2008. I would say that the origin of all of this is the globalization, the inclusion of China and India in the world economy, and their opening up, which has meant the movement of a lot of jobs to those economies from the developed West. And that has meant that median incomes in the US, in Canada, in the UK, in the Eurozone, and elsewhere have been badly affected. They've grown very, very slowly, and that's led to this upwelling of populist politics. Now, we've seen the same phenomena in the US and in Europe. In the US, the rise of Trumpism and indeed Bernie Sanders, movements both on the left and on the right of discontent with the established parties. And we've seen the same in Europe. In Germany, we have the Alternative für Deutschland. In France, we have the rise of the Populist National Front. In Italy, we have the Five Star Movement. All of these are protest movements in effect, but in many cases they are becoming the major opposition after the ruling party. And therefore, there's a much greater risk of protectionism. Brexit, or the forces that gave rise to the pro-Brexit vote in the British referendum are essentially the same. We had large numbers of people who have seen their incomes very static for a long period of time, and they wanted to restrict immigration. They wanted to reverse the tide of globalization, because that's what they see as causing the problem. So there is some risk that we could see one of these parties come into power, possibly in the US in the form of Trump, possibly in Germany, or in France, where they might do a deal with the ruling party, which would lead to a more protectionist outlook. But I'm reasonably optimistic. I don't think that this will reverse the long tide. It may be a small step backwards, so globalization won't make further progress. But on the other hand, I don't think that the forces of globalization, liberalization that we've seen in place for the last 20, 30 years will be reversed at all strongly, even though the politics may be a little noisy during the next year.